Here we go. I'll let you know. Should be the little loading bars going.
All right.
All right. We are on.
Okay.
Hello, Maureen. Or should I call you Mo? What do
You gotta call me Mo.
Okay.
Absolutely.
Excellent. Excellent. And how are you doing?
Good. Yeah, things are good. You know, we're rocking it. We're doing our best.
And yeah, how's Arts Whistler going? So for those who didn't read my little blurb, Maureen Douglas is Executive Director of Arts Whistler. And you guys have been fairly shut down, I guess. You know?
Well, yes, the building is closed, but we're operational. That's kind of what we're saying. So the building's closed because it's with the 50 people limitations, putting shows on into the theater is a bit tricky, but we've just let people know one of the things we're doing is they can't come to us, so we're coming to you. And we are moving towards producing more video content. We've already started, and it's been really fun doing things like the bike shop lessons or bike shop sessions. It's hard to say. We just launched our virtual Whistler Children's Festival because we can't do that event. So we've got a really fun little 2-hour program with lots of local talent that parents and kids can take in. And yeah, we're going to try and do a couple of outdoor things before the end of the year, as long as conditions allow, and they're kind of fun. Can't say anything yet, need some approvals and this and that, but yeah, if I had a buck for every time I heard the word pivot, I'd be doing really well. I'd have a little RSP money right now, but that's what we have to do. We're pivoting, we're recalibrating, we're looking at new ways to do what we do, and we got tons of amazing creative content and people in this community. We're going to bring them together and just deliver it a slightly different way. So we are doing well. We're hanging in, and our whole team we're optimistic and kind of excited about needing to make this change. You know, I mean, sometimes it's forced, but if the spirit of innovation is there, it's kind of exciting too.
Yeah, for sure. I love the idea about outside stuff.
Yeah. We are looking at a number of different ideas and how can you ensure proper physical distancing and still include, you know, a big spectrum of art. So yeah, we're getting clever, and we're just fingers crossed we're able to do what we want to do, but we don't want to disappoint people. So we're gonna just get it all in the background and then announce. Yeah, that's kind of the plan.
Yeah, and you're good to go. I understand.
Yeah, and then we're good to go.
I won't ask, but I'm very curious. That sounds awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's great. Well, I'm glad to hear that stuff's going to be happening. Yeah, that was going to be my main question for you, is if you had anything that you wanted to like bring up to upcoming or any like online stuff, but I guess if people check your website or.
Well, a few things, like if you want to watch more online tonight, this is our second to last bike shop sessions down at Coastal Culture. Red Chair's performing tonight at 8 live out on the stream at 720 HD. We've managed to actually put really good technology into there, and so that's been super fun. 6 other bands so far, and they're still available on our website and through our Facebook stream, so you can watch a number of other shows. So we've been doing that. We just put together the package and launched the Children's Festival. We're going to have that content up till about July 15th when the festival would have been. Lots of things for kids and parents to do there, which is super fun, including an Ira Petal dance party that he managed to do from his home. It's very impressive, you know, because the poor guy's working with it to the screen, right? There's no kids jumping up and down. He's got to use his own enthusiasm. So give him huge credit for that. So that's been fun. Susan Holden's doing some sing-along kids songs. It's really cute. And parents can stop and work with kids on crafts. You don't have to actually let the whole thing stream. And we've done a time count on the site so people can be like, I don't like magic, I want to go here. That's fine. You can just find what you want, right? So that's been really cool. And as we develop the idea of a video studio, essentially turning the theater deck into a video studio, we're cooking up all kinds of fun ideas for programs that would be very Whistler. You know, Whistler's fun and kind of irreverent, and it being a tourism town, it's really fun to have those stories and jokes that are kind of local, but invite the visitors to have a little bit of a peek behind the curtain, right? So we'll be looking at some of that. We're talking about a variety show, a Whistler unique sort of talk show variety show. Like, we can do whatever we want at this point. Yeah. And so it's being in that position is really freeing and slightly overwhelming.
Yeah, I bet.
Yeah, it's easy to take ideas out everywhere, and now you got to bring it into still something manageable. So, you know, we're quite happily working on the Canadian Emergency Wage Subsidy, we wouldn't be able to do what we're doing without that. And so thank you, federal government. It is pretty impressive because we had some grant money that can only be used on programs. We can't use it for operations. We can't use it to pay our team, but we do have some money that allows us to actually run some programs, develop the video studio. So that the key was having our amazing team back. And so as of next week, we've had about 11 people back. We bring them all back next week for as long as that emergency wage subsidy lasts, and maybe a little longer, but it'll give us the opportunity to still do a number of things. And what we can't do, we're finding ways to either do virtually or help the artists involved. So we can't do the holiday market, even though it's in the end of November. Talk about it changes from week to week, right? And we know we keep hearing about the fall resurgence of the virus, which I laugh, but it's, what do you know? It's just there's no predictability right now. So unfortunately, to help both, knowing that the venue couldn't book, we didn't want to leave vendors wondering. We said, okay, we have to call this. But what we'll do is all the vendors who apply, we list them on our website anyway with portals through to their websites while they holiday market's on and just before, but we're going to actually make that live a lot sooner. And so there's people who love some of the products. They come every year, they got to get certain decorations, or that chocolate guy, or I always get my salt from this person. And that way they can buy it from the vendor if they have a selling website. So the vendor ideally makes some money, and our really loyal customers have a way to get those products. So, trying to make what we can out of the things that we can't quite do. And we're doing the Anonymous Art Show that would have normally been in April. That's what we were in the middle of. We were just going to start hanging 333 pieces of art when we were like, it's a pandemic, the municipality's shutting down their buildings, we got to shut down. And so we've had literally boxes and boxes of incredible art created by Sea to Sky folks sitting in an office. So we're going to hang that at the end of August, and we're opening our doors September 1st. So people can see the art. We're going to have an online gallery August 1st. You can see it digitally, but there's some work is very different in person than online because it's three-dimensional or whatever. So you can come in and see the art, and then we're going to have a selling night that will be a virtual kind of web experience. And we're just figuring out some ways to make that really fun and engaging for the folks who want to buy the art. So it's still happening. It's just happening a different way. And that's really, it's like, what's our goal with everything we're trying to do? How can we transfer that into a different condition we are allowed to work with? So sometimes it's video, sometimes it's just making sure we've got the right physical distancing, and we're working through it.
Oh, that's good to know. Yeah, I was wondering about the holiday art fairs. I was going to maybe try and I do a little stained glass myself, and I was like, maybe I'll have enough this year to finally get into it. I've been making here. I'll even show you.
Cool.
I was like, maybe I'll get into it this year, but I don't think it'll actually be open. I just was making bike parts. I was making some glass.
Oh, that is awesome.
Yeah.
That would be so popular here. Well, let me tell you, Handy
I don't even know bikes. So.
Artisan is we do also have a gift shop in the art center right in the lobby, and so we'll activate that again when we open up as well. And that's the kind of thing that would sell like hotcakes. So there's still opportunity for our artisans to be there and selling through the gift shop as well once we're back up and running. But it's we need to have some good reasons to have those doors open because it's expensive to run any facility, and we're just everything's pretty close to the bone, but we're looking okay to be around to the end of the year, and hopefully whenever there's a return to so-called normal 2021, we'll just work through what we have at that time.
Well, that's really cool. You guys have so much going on. That's so exciting. And that's nice that summer's coming, kind of opens things up a little bit. The fact that you can open doors,
Yep.
Great.
And yeah, and we're hoping that, I think you'll see a little bit of the village animation that we usually do with the municipality. They'll be doing a little less of it, but they still are working with that idea that so many entertainers and live working artists and all those people really engage the community and our visitors, but they can also help impact how people move around and the kind of distances they'll keep. And so we want every visitor to Whistler to stay safe and the community to stay safe, but it doesn't mean we can't have some fun with how we do it. So, that's the Whistler way, right? And yet we all know we have to be really cautious because it's if we have any challenges in Whistler around the pandemic, it's just that people won't forget. They don't forget Whistler when things happen. If it was another community, it might not impact them quite as much. So I think the entire community's done a really good job of the pace at which we're trying to return and being really smart about the future for everybody. So that gives me hope. I have a lot of faith in the folks at the Muni and Jack Crompton's vision for a more equitable community as we return, I think is a really exciting notion as well. So yeah, it's been, for some people, you know, I think it's been tough if you got laid off right away and you're trying to fill your time, and on top of filling your time, it's being filled with really horrifying newscasts and everything else. That was one crop of folks. And then there was another crop of folks like me, anybody, whether you ran a big organization like Vail Resorts or a pretty small organization like Arts Whistler, turns out it takes a lot of time to sort of shut it down and open it back up, and government forms and government funding. And yeah, it's nice to be at the point where we are talking about new programs and content, because it turns out COVID takes a lot of administration. Who knew?
Right.
Yeah, there's a fair amount of paperwork with that pandemic, but again, we're grateful for the reasons for the paperwork has helped us have the funding we need, right? So yeah, it's I'm glad our team's all healthy. It seems that most of the community's healthy and everybody's figuring out their way back. You know, it's been really good.
Yeah, we've been restoring services at the library. So we've got the holds are first. I think we're going to work on picking up printing next, but right now we've got like 780 holds or something requests. So
which goes to, you know, this is an amazing community. It is really engaged in the arts, in community, in the library. I mean, the library has some of the higher usership in the province, which is a pretty cool thing to be able to say about your community, you know. And one of the things we wanted to do, just like the library team did, was as soon as doors had to be locked, was okay, how do we keep giving people things in a time frame where they really do need some distraction and good news and things that are positive and can help their well-being. So we already have a very strong website, which is great. And it is there to promote all the arts, culture, heritage activities that happen in the sea to sky, but they tend to be what's actually going on. So what we did was we created a big online portal, and there's all kinds of different sort of doors you can go through, whether it's local and international museum tours, live music streams from, you know, Neil Young to Ev Kinsella from Squamish, you know, all over from. So we went kind of local content to national content to international content. There's creative exercises. There's access to all the Bob Ross workshops. You know, I've had people emailing me, go, I did a Bob Ross today, here's my picture. And it's great, it looks like a Bob Ross. So, you know, and people have been sending us notes to thank us for those tools, because I think it helped some parents trying to deal with homeschooling. We've been able to give work to local musicians, and they've been so gracious. We've been able to pay them honorariums because we don't have quite enough funds to pay them their usual fee. They're getting that, and in return, they're performing and helping raise funds for the food banks. So Whistler's got this incredible circle that's connected around helping each other. It's like we have a social service ecosystem that the not-for-profits and so many of the community players are completely tapped into and want to help. So, you know, in a tough time, it's so easy to be filled up by and be proud of the kind of community Whistler is, because even Whistler Community Services doing this amazing job, they're like, we're blown away at, we asked for money, but hundreds of thousands of dollars came our way, and we've needed every penny.
Wow. Yeah, community service has been so integral, and I can't even imagine how insanely busy they've been. Yeah.
But it's the perfect combination of, you know, our arts and creativity and performance, entertainment, it lifts the soul. So one of the first things we got asked to do was to help Whistler Community Foundation with the stay-at-home gala, which happened in maybe say early April. And that was a goal to raise more funds for their emergency fund, a lot of which ends up funding the food bank and some other social services. So we programmed, there was a national part, it was 5 to 7 p.m. There was a national hour with some national entertainers and a few speakers, and then a local hour. And this happened all across Canada in whatever communities wanted to do it. Our local had 6 local performers. They asked me to MC it from my house. It was classic. I'm like, okay, I got to go live with an iPad, I guess. So I had it on a music stand, extended as far as it could, wasn't quite high enough to do stand-ups. So then I took a picture frame, extended it, taped it to my music stand, and then alligator clipped my iPad to my music stand. So I had to show it to all my tech friends because they were so impressed in my MacGyver. And I literally walked through my living room on every intro and also talked about all this local art I have in my house, like a chili behind me, because we joke that one of the occupational hazards of working at Arts Whistler is you end up you see so much awesome local art. We make pacts with each other that we're not going to buy it. Don't let me buy anything from this show, and it still happens. But in the end, you end up with some pretty beautiful walls. So, and the performances that everybody gave for this fundraiser was really cool. The local audience could add comments, right, as it's going on. And they were all like, oh, the local segment's way better than the national segment. This is awesome. All the acts were great. You know, Susan Holden did some stuff. I think Ev Kinsella did some stuff. We had Rebel Appliance. Jenna May did a couple of songs, but she did a Lizzo cover that blew my mind.
What?
So great. It was just, people were so excited by the show, and you know, and the purpose was to raise funds, but it really raised spirits early on because it was just so much fun. So, you know, we need to meet those needs, but there's lots of engaging, entertaining ways to do it. Like Bike Shop Sessions we've been supporting Feed the Need. So you can choose which food bank through one portal, and that's been great too. It's like, we're a charity as well, but you know, all of our efforts needed to go to social service support right now. We're challenged, but we're not, there's not an arts emergency going on, right? Like there is a helping and feeding people emergency going on. So just awesome that we had even enough people that were able to stay on the team to put that together before we could call people back. So yeah, it's been really good to see the power of arts and entertainment in community to both help to remind people, you know, it's going to end. We're going to be able to be back together again soon. We're going to be able to go to Après at some point and see those same musicians live. They were just excited about seeing each other even on screen, because by that point, everybody had been just totally disappeared, locked down for about 3 weeks.
Mm-hmm.
So that was fun too. Right? Them just being excited to see each other. So yeah, we've all adapted, yeah, to our video reality, and it's okay.
Yeah, it's definitely getting better, but that's so good to know that there's so many resources through you guys. I'm very interested in the Bob Ross workshop.
Oh yeah, well
and all the music, of course. Like it's a constant concert in our house.
Yeah,
constantly listening to stuff.
Well, yeah, it's been cool. Like the Bike Shop Sessions are both fun to watch the performers, and also, you know, some nights I've got it on and I might be chatting with my partner. It's kind of like being at an Après. There's just fewer people, and it is a bit quieter, and it's way easier to get a drink at the bar.
Yeah,
there's some wins. There's some upsides, right? So, yeah, it's been fun. And the one thing I think anybody who's had to do this has had to get used to is it's the playing to no one, even though you might be playing to everyone. There's nobody reacting to you, right? Mm-hmm. And for me, when I MC, like I'm throwing in the jokes and the lines, and it's weird because there's like, boom, nothing, thunderous silence, right? You just have to hope you were as funny as you thought you were, because no one's there to tell you you were or you weren't. They're not. Yeah. There's no laughter on the other side. But they're all doing it. They're all doing it really well. You know, just giving her the best they can. To when we do the Bike Shop Sessions, they're down there performing literally for an audience of four crew that are running that thing. But it's still, they have a really good time with it. Musicians have a good time with it. The other upside that's been kind of interesting is we also now have all this content we can give to those bands, and, you know, download their shows and say, here's a show, cut it, use it, promote with it, do whatever you want with it. But now you have some tools to promote yourself as well. Mm-hmm. So yeah, we've tried to leverage every possible positive outcome out of the stuff we're doing. How can we make it a good resource for all the people involved, or how can we help the community with fundraising about what we're doing? And yeah, it's been really rewarding to see that, you know, we can stretch our impact just by doing a show, but it's how we do the show and what else we bring to it. So I'm really thrilled that we work with a lot of other community not-for-profits, and the sectors. I feel like, you know, there's a really great not-for-profit camaraderie. It doesn't matter what